Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault 2, and I'm out here in the garage tonight coming to you with a short video. Got a bunch of guns on the table in bags to go to the range. I was supposed to go to the range today, and I was going to take my parents and my wife, and we went to the range, and it was Black Friday, and I guess everybody and their kids and everyone was just there. The place was just absolutely packed, even in the kind of the private VIP area. It was just too much going on, so we're just going to have to go another time, maybe tomorrow or the like. But that's why the table's full of stuff. But I'm out here tonight to talk about, which I guess is going to have to be kind of an addendum to yesterday's video. Occasionally I make videos here on this channel that kind of go big, and they get big and popular for what the channel is. I mean, compared to other channels, they get hundreds of thousands of views. No, it's not what this is. But for my average viewership, it gets kind of big, and I think people like to interact, and I try not to do anything clickbaity or whatever. And yesterday's video, where I talked about my thoughts on the reason why we see so few registrations of the assault weapons in Illinois, which is, my theory is, the vast majority of gun owners in Illinois are ignorant of the law. They don't understand the law. It's vague, and they're just not paying attention. Where I said a lot of people on our side all believe it's this mass willful non-compliance. And I said, I do believe there's a large portion of the people that are not going to comply because they are aware of what's going on. But I would put it at about 20%, 15 or 20% of gun owners. But you see a lot of people that have no idea what's going on. They really don't. They're completely oblivious. And I got a lot of comments on that video, ranging from one person saying, well, this is the first time I've ever seen your channel, and it's definitely, I'll never watch your channel again. Glad I figured this out, or something like that. Like, I'll never make that mistake again. It's my first time watching your channel. I'll never make that mistake again. Perfectly fine. Perfectly fine. I had people on the channel saying the usual, like, shall not be infringed, the Second Amendment, it's all that matters, and so forth. And I try to reply to people and say, listen, I agree with you. However, you're missing the real reason why we on the pro-gun side are inevitably going to fail. And it's going to be because we don't play the game smart like the anti-gunners. And one of my things I try to do on my channel is just to preach to people about playing the long game, doing this the smart way. You know, one of the references I often make is Sun Tzu's The Art of War. You know, it's that ancient Chinese text on how to win wars. And it has a lot of, you know, kind of phrases that we can all quote from it. Like, every battle is won and lost before it is ever fought, right? And the idea behind that is it's the preparation that goes into the battle that makes you win, and not necessarily just going in and fighting. If you go in without a plan, don't understand your enemy, and so forth, you're going to lose. It doesn't matter if you have the strongest army. You're going to lose. And so one of the things that I think that the pro-gun side completely forgets is that the people that are the anti-gunners play the game from a very strategic standpoint. They understand that most Americans don't care about guns. And by that, I mean don't care passionately about guns. So we have the people on our side that absolutely cares a lot about guns. We're very pro-Second Amendment. We surround ourselves with pro-Second Amendment people and friends, and sometimes that gives us a biased outlook. We assume everyone else knows and thinks like we do, and that's not the case. Then on the anti-gun side, you have the people that are very anti-gun. They're very passionate. They go to the protests. They have like the Moms Demand Action, the people that will take their time and go talk to legislators and do all these things. They're very anti-gun, but they also understand that they're not going to win the battle without getting the people in the middle to join their cause, because you need those people to give you the public support for you to either be pro-gun and to pass very pro-gun legislation, or you need them to pass anti-gun legislation. And so my response to a lot of the people that were saying, shall not be infringed, it's all I need to know. Well, the thing about that is, a vast majority of Americans, whether you like it or not, believe some infringements are okay. Now, I'm not saying they are okay. I'm just saying if you ask most people that are not gun owners or are neutral on guns, they're just in the middle, okay? They might have their old granddad shotgun. Or they're neither anti or pro Second Amendment. But you ask them generally saying, do you think it's a good idea that if somebody goes to a gun store and buys a gun, they have to go through a background check? Not saying it's right, but I would say the overwhelmingly vast majority of people are going to say that's okay. They're going to say that's not an infringement, okay? Now remember, you can feel differently than that, but you have to understand that the vast majority of people in the center are going to have these positions, and depending on how those positions are worded or questions are worded, they're not going to look at these things that you might think are infringements as infringements, okay? So for them, going to 4473, a background check, having, outlawing machine guns, for them, that's not an infringement, okay? But you need them, these people that are in the middle, to come to your side. So you have to ask yourself, how do we reach these people? Okay? Now, the anti-gunners, I think, do it a very smart way. They approach them using emotions and wording that seems reasonable to somebody that's uneducated. So if you're uneducated and don't know anything about guns, and somebody comes up to you and says, do you want to protect children in schools from gun violence? Okay, so somebody that has no idea what an AR-15 is, what makes an AR, doesn't know anything about a background check, doesn't know anything about a 4473, doesn't know anything about the ATF. And they're asked the question, do you want to stop kids from dying of gun violence in schools? Well, what's their answer going to be? Well, it's going to be, yes, I want to help that. And they're going to sign some petition to, lobby Congress to pass some bill, okay? Because they're using emotions and people's ignorance against them, essentially, okay? And so the anti-gunners will take these people that are in the center that don't know anything and bring them into their side. And they're going to approach these people from a very calm and rational standpoint. So think about it. You go up to a grocery store, okay, and there's somebody out there with a clipboard asking you to sign a petition. And they're not in your face going, shall not be infringed. ATF can't create law. They're out there calm and collected. Now, even though what they're doing is in our opinion, a great infringement, but they're coming across as rational and calm. And they're coming to people with what appears to be a rational argument. You want to save kids from gun violence in school? Sign this petition so Congress will pass these laws. So that's how you get people in the center. But our side, you have so many people, and I understand their frustration. I understand their passion. And they're screaming from the hilltops, shall not be infringed. And they come across as crazed lunatics. Okay? Now, we know that they're not crazed lunatics, but for people in the center that are uneducated, they come across as crazed lunatics. I believe in the open carry of firearms and rifles, but if you go to these things and you're carrying your AR-15 and you're decked out in your plate carriers, and it looks like you're ready for war, and you're holding up a sign saying, shall not be infringed, and you get in people's faces, shall not be infringed, you come across as a nutcase, okay? Now, I'm not saying you are a nutcase, but what I am saying is you have to put yourself in the position of the people that are in the middle, the people that you and I need to come to our side. And our side fails at this terribly. And a lot of it is because we have so many people in the pro-gun side of the world that are clickbaiters, they're fearmongers, they get clicks and money from getting people all fired up. Now, getting people all fired up to do something is great, but when that passion turns into this, like the crazy eyes, they're like, shall not be infringed. The ATF can't create law. It's like, and all you do is post in every forum That same thing after that, every comment is that. It falls on deaf ears. And anyway, you guys see where I'm going. And then all of a sudden the anti-gunners come in, calm and collected, all wearing the same shirt with their little notepad and their clipboard going, would you like to sign a document to save kids in school from guns? Oh, you would. That's how they win. So many gun owners, and this is going back to what yesterday's video was about, are so insulated that they live in a world where they're only surrounded by people who think like them. In the music world, where I spend a lot of my time, right? I'm a professional musician. I have friends that are from all over the world and have traveled all over the world. I have friends from South Korea. I have friends from Japan. I have friends from Europe. And I interact with these people all the time. And occasionally, when gun issues are the hot button topic of the day, they know that I'm into firearms. And they'll talk to me occasionally about this, and some of them are American citizens now. Some of them are here on visas and so forth. And it's really interesting to have these conversations because they have a totally different perspective than we do. Now, I still believe that our perspective of our natural rights of self-preservation through firearms is the right way. But it's made abundantly clear to me that these people do not share that perspective. And I look at it as an opportunity to be calm and collected and to try to give them information that's going to at least plant the seeds where in the future they might be on our side. I mean, I'm not going to convince an anti-gunner to be pro-gunner today. That's not going to happen. Just like I tell you guys, screaming at somebody and saying shall not be infringed is not going to change their mind. The way that you change their mind is you either discuss things with them or you have a polite debate with them, and you plant the seeds of knowledge and facts that those seeds will germinate and grow into the tree of truth. It's not going to happen today. It's not going to happen tomorrow. It's not going to happen next month. But it could happen in a year. It could happen in 5 years. And if you keep coming back with these seeds of truth in a respectful way, in a thoughtful way, in a calm and collected way, you will convince these people to come to our side. And once they kind of get to our side more, you can expose them to more things, right? Think about like a 22 long rifle. 22 long rifle is the gateway caliber, okay? So anytime I have somebody that is scared of guns, doesn't want to go, maybe they're apprehensive about going shooting. You know what guns I take them to the range with? I take a Ruger 1022, okay? And some type of 22 pistol, okay? Maybe that be the FN3, was it the 322 or whatever. I will take them to the range with a 22. I'm not going to start them off with AR-15s. I'm not going to start them off with 45s. I'm not going to do any of that, okay? And I try to put them in a place where it's just us. Okay, here's a 1022. This is how it works, right? A little, just one round in it. Okay, shoot it. I know you're scared. And they go, dude, oh, that's what that is? Yeah, it's all it is. Okay, you ready for a full magazine? Yeah, I think I am. And then I, load up 10 rounds in it. And they're like, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. It doesn't really have much recoil. I know what to expect. They might flinch a little bit in the beginning. This is definitely not what they said it was like, on the movies and the anti-gunners telling me. Yeah, okay, it's cool, man. Well, I tell you what, if you want to go shooting with me again, you let me know, okay? Because I'm up here. If you want, I will, bring some other stuff for you to try out too. Yeah, it's not so bad. All right, so the next range visit, we amp it up a little bit. I don't tell them. I'm just like, yeah, you know how you shot that little 22? Hey, try out this, 20-inch AR-15. Yeah, it's a little bit heavier. It's going to be a little bit louder, but you've already shot a gun, right? You've already shot. It's the same caliber. I'll show them how the projectiles are the same dimension. Yeah, it's a lot more powder behind. It's going to be a little bit louder, but it's the same thing. And now you've already, tried out, just holding the gun. You know what to expect. And they shoot the AR, and they're like, oh, I I thought the anti-gunner said that, AR-15s, blow out, whatever, blow out walls and all that kind of stuff. No, that's all it is. It's just putting a little 22 caliber hole in a piece of paper. Oh, that's not that. That's kind of fun. I like that. That's what an AR is. Yeah, it is. Okay, I tell you what. I'm here shooting my Glock 19. It's definitely bigger than that 22 caliber pistol, but it's the same concept. Okay, so here, try out this. I'll just load up one round of 9, just one round. Just try it out for me. Oh wow, that's a little bit heavier. I like the power of that a little bit more. You see what I'm doing, right? So I'm not going to turn an anti-gunner that's scared of guns into a pro gunner like us in one range trip. It's going to take 2, 3, 4 times, and that time might be spread out over the course of 3, 4, 5, or 6 months. But you plant those seeds, and they germinate into the trees of truth, the trees of facts and knowledge. If you just go in to a debate and scream, "Shall not be infringed," by the way, I support you. And that can be our calling card to each other, right? We can all share that. But how the people in the middle perceive it is, you're crazy. Because all those people in the center are ignorant. You can tell yourself, like in that video, it was like, well, everybody here in this state knows about it. I guarantee you they don't. You will know. I'll give you a point here in Texas. Here in Texas, we have permitless carry. We have constitutional carry. And you are allowed to open carry both pistols and rifles. Okay? You can do all of that here in Texas. There are still people that think that you must have a permit to carry concealed in the state of Texas. I see them all the time. They are gun owners. They are people that I personally know that own 20 or 30 guns. They're like, what? You don't need a permit? They still don't know, even though it was all over the news. All over the news. They don't know that you can open carry an AR-15. They have no idea. And so when they see it you're allowed to do it. And these are fellow gun owners. These are people that I would say are not just, they just had that one gun that they inherited or just bought that one gun for home defense 2 years ago during the pandemic. These are people that have moderate collections of firearms, and they still don't know the law. They don't understand the signage that we have here in Texas, which are called the 30-06 and the 30-07 signs, which ban, concealed carry and open carry. They have to be displayed a certain way in 1-inch block letters in both English and Spanish and have a very particular verbiage. It has to be posted at every entrance of the building. If one of those criteria is not met, it doesn't count. But people don't know that. Even if they went and took the concealed carry class, they just don't remember that. Why? Because they're not nerds, geeks, and dorks like you and I are about this stuff. And if I see this in the people that I know and I surround myself with that have moderately sized gun collections and go shooting often, and they still don't understand that, and they don't understand the NFA, like I still will occasionally have a suppressor at the range. At the VIP lanes at the Frisco Gun Club, a place where if you are a VIP member, you are paying a sizable amount of money to be here. And I will still pull out a silencer from time to time and be asked by other people, is that even legal? And yet they are in the gun community to a pretty big degree to be there. And they don't know the NFA. I get asked that occasionally. So all those people in the comment section saying, everyone in Illinois knows, I guarantee you, if you would get out of your circle, you would discover that people know a lot different than what you know, or think a lot different than what you think. Just like I was talking about all those people from South Korea and Europe and Japan that I personally know, our perspective of America and Americans and rights are very different. And if you go through life assuming that everybody else sees things the way that you do, things that are self-evident to you and to all the people around you in your family and friend circles, You might be surprised to find out that in the vast majority of the population, you're a minority. Right. I know it can blow some people's minds. It really does. But you need to get out of your insular friend groups. I'm not saying you have to change your mind. I'm just saying that you need to get out there and realize that other people feel and think differently than you do, whether that is right or wrong, and whether they're right or wrong, or you're right or you're wrong. It doesn't matter. Because if you're going to win this debate, we have to reach those people in the center that are ignorant or against our positions or are neutral and don't care. And you have to ask yourself and cast a wide net. How am I going to bring in people that aren't passionate about guns like myself? How am I going to bring them into our side? How am I going to bring them into the Second Amendment? Is getting in their face and saying, shall not be infringed, going to bring them to our side? Or is it, just a polite conversation and someone comes up to you and goes, hey, I know you're a gun owner. I heard about this terrible event that happened. What do you think should happen? Well, statistically, when it comes to these events, they always happen in gun-free zones. I mean, let's take a look at this. And I think these people that are doing these and committing these atrocities actually pick these places because of that. Then all of a sudden, that seed's planted. What? Oh my gosh. You're right. So anyway, I know I have talked ad nauseum about this. Shall not be infringed doesn't prove your point. It doesn't bring anybody to your side. And until we as a gun community play the game the anti-gunners do and try to get the people in the middle and know that the people in the middle are ignorant and stupid, even people that own guns, you have to believe me that the vast majority of Illinois gun owners, regardless of what you think, regardless of what you say, regardless of the friend circles you have in Illinois, and you can say, I live in Illinois, all my friends know about this. Well, of course they know about it, because you're all in the same circle of friends. You're all in the Second Amendment community, and you all talk about the same stuff. But there's so many people out there that don't. They don't go to the range, but maybe once a year, once every 3 years. They don't follow YouTube. They don't follow the news. They might not even own a television. People in the comment section, well, it's been all over the television here. I haven't watched a local newscast in years. In fact, before I met my wife, I didn't even own a television because I don't watch television. I got all my information from the computer. And when you're talking about YouTube and internet stuff, you're getting information that's international and national, not necessarily based on your geographic location. I mean, I'm sure there's things going on in the local news all the time around here that I have no idea about because I don't follow the local news. You need to open and broaden your perspective of other people and ask yourself, how can I reach them? How can I bring them into our side? Because I'm telling you guys know that I'm a black pill guy when it comes to the Second Amendment, even though we're getting all these victories right now. Because there's so many people in our gun community that don't realize how ignorant and stupid the vast majority of other people are. And I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm not saying they're bad people. But I guarantee you 60% of the people that own firearms in Illinois that are required to be registered under this law in Illinois, I guarantee you most of them don't know about the law. They don't know what guns are covered under the law. They don't know where to go to register them even if they wanted to. They don't even know they're supposed to register them, because they're being told, oh yeah, it's assault weapons, machine guns. And they're like, well, I don't own a machine gun. I have a AR-15. I have one that I bought 5 years ago and put in the closet. They have no idea. But because people on our side want this feeling of camaraderie, we're all in this together, shall not be infringed, they begin to think that everyone thinks the way that they do and has the same knowledge. And they don't. They just don't. So I wanted this to be a short video, but apparently it's 25 minutes long. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say about this. And it's kind of an addendum to yesterday's video. And this is my thoughts on how to bring other people into the Second Amendment that are going to be in the middle, because we need them. The people that don't care, the people that are neutral. And for those of you out there that just scream, shall not be infringed, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't do anything. I know it makes you feel good. It makes you feel real good. It really does. But it does absolutely zero. And in fact, it probably hurts our case in the long run. We're not going to go from where we're at today to shall not be infringed and no gun laws like that. It's not going to happen. It's not reality. Okay? It's just like those people that are, claim to be communists. They're not going to go from a completely capitalist society to a totalitarian communist society like that. It doesn't happen overnight. It's gradual. So anyway, that's all I wanted to talk about tonight. Just some food for thought. And I will continue to preach this gospel of how we can benefit the gun community, the Second Amendment community, by being rational, thoughtful, and kind to others instead of just screaming shall not be infringed and coming across like crazed lunatics. So anyway, that's all I wanted to say tonight. I hope you guys have a wonderful Friday night and a wonderful weekend ahead. So, as always, thanks for watching.